quick update here. I moved a bunch of games all over into there. That's filled with games. Basically just about touching each other all the way across. So I opened up this area so I can start framing in these walls, which I'll video you guys, for you guys, framing in some of these walls down here. I made a video on these other walls over here, but I put it on my other page. So this room is done as far as the walls go. I got to do that. I got to wrap that beam still, and then I'll be ready to do the ceiling, which I'll do the ceiling on a video. I'll show that. I still have one more wire to run into this up there. I stripped all the artwork and stuff I had on this wall off, all the trim off and everything, because I'm getting ready to put pine on that next. So that's going to get all pine there, up there, and across there. And then I can do this ceiling. Now this ceiling up here, I'm just going to nail my pine boards right to the ceiling, because there is no reason to make a drop panel there because there's already drywall. So that I'm just going to nail right up there. So basically right now I'm going to start getting this wall, the pine done on that wall, and then I can come back and we can start framing out this wall here. I'm trying to burn through as much of this pine as I can today, because on Tuesday I have another 200 boards coming and I'm really running out of room to put stuff. So I'm just trying to keep going as they come so that I can just keep moving along here. This room is just about done other than the ceiling and the electrical, which I'll show you guys the electrical too if you'd like to see. Trying to think if there's anything else as of right now. I save all these scrap pieces because you never know when you have a small area where you'll need them. I haven't really had much of any yet in here, you know, between this opening and there. Those are pretty short pieces there, but I always save them because I know I'll end up using them somewhere. So that's really about all the waste I have out of this room. So I try to use every little bit as possible. This stuff is not cheap anymore. It used to be, but now it's gone up in price. Oh, I'm going to show you how I build these walls, and I use a laser to set them up. By using a laser to set them up, when you put a laser and build your wall, you'll end up with walls like this. See that bubble? Perfectly in the middle. Same thing back here. See? Directly in the middle. So if you guys go to buy a new house or something like that and it's crooked as can be, there's no excuse. A laser gives you a perfect straight line to work off of. You know, the only way you're going to get a crooked wall with a laser is if you're lazy and you just don't care about lining it up. But I'll show you how I do it so that you know you could buy a laser for $100 nowadays. I mean, there's nothing to them. It's just this right here. It's a little laser here. It shoots, horizontal, vertical, or both at the same time. And the laser inside, it like oscillates around every which direction, so that when you set it on a solid surface, it levels itself. So once it seeks its own level, then you're ready to go. And you know, as you can tell, when I held the level up on those walls, they're perfectly level. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get this done now, come back, and we'll start framing out the next wall. Okay, the steps on the other side are done. Switches are all back in the wall. I put a piece along here. This I'm not worried about because the trim is 3.5 inches, so it'll cover that edge up. That's not an issue. And this wall was done before. I gotta cut this drywall back a little bit, but even this little edge drywall showing will get covered by the 3.5 inch trim. So now I have my foam down on the floor, because you want to put a layer of foam before you put your wood on the floor. So there's a layer of foam, and then I have a 2x3 sitting on top of it. I'm gonna turn off the lights and show you what the laser looks like. Okay, so basically, hopefully you can see here. Let me turn off the other light real quick. I'll just kind of have to talk in the dark. Okay. So if you look here really closely, hard to see because it's dark, but you can see there's right along the edge of that 2x3, there's a line going, okay? So as long as you line up your line, your 2x3 right on that laser line, you're gonna be straight. If you look, it's going up the wall and it's going across all the floor joists up there. So you can see it on every floor joist. So basically, as long as you line up your 2x3 on those lines, all the way around, you should have no reason why your wall should not be level. You cannot measure off of the block or the poured foundation walls, because if you look here, look, I don't know if you can see this or not, but if you look, it's close here, and then it's real fat here, and then it gets close again, and then it gets, close there, it gets fat again. So basically what happens is these walls are poured in sections. You can see seams here. So there's, there are panels with stamped brick on them, and they all get bolted together. They're flanged and they get bolted together, and when they do that, sometimes they're not perfect with each other, and it kind of gets a little wobbly on you. So that's why it's always best to use a laser, and you can still see it on the wall when the light's on. Like, I can still see it up there too, pretty good, even with the lights on. Probably not with the camera, because the camera drowns it out, or the lights with the camera going drowns it out. So that's what that is. So basically, I'm going to tap con this down right on that red line. Then I'm going to screw one up this wall. Well, first I got to put one up here, and then I can put one up that wall. So let me get a little bit of this done, and then I'll come back and show you what it looks like, because I got to pre-drill all these and everything, so it's going to take a little bit. Okay, this first piece is tap con to the concrete. I put screws between where the joists go so that they don't hit the joist, because they are 5/16 headed screws, so you don't want those to hit. Now if you look here, this is my 2x3 coming up the wall. You can see right here I have that red line going perfectly against it. Look up on the ceiling here, you can see my 2x3 right up against that line. It's pretty much foolproof, you could do it with the tape measure and chalk line. It takes a lot longer, because you have to line up all your lines. You have to get this line perfect with that one with the chalk line, and you got to do a ton of measuring. So if you have a laser, I mean, you can pick one of these up anymore for $100 or less. So it's definitely the way to go, whether you're remodeling or building a new house, anything like that. Lasers are definitely the way to go. So I'm going to get a little bit more done tonight, and that's going to be it. Not a real long video. I didn't do a ton of videoing today because it was just putting pine on the walls like yesterday's video. So it was kind of pointless to show me doing the same thing as I did yesterday. I'll show you guys how I'm going to wrap that beam and how we're going to make these panels for the ceiling. I actually dropped one of these panels down because I'm taking out all these extra alarm wires and cable wires and stuff because they're no longer used. I'm just trying to eliminate as many wires in the ceiling as possible. I got to strap these couple up. Those were run over to the arcade switches over there. But everything's wireless now, and it's just pointless to have all these extra wires because then you just don't know what they're for. But anyways, so I had dropped that one panel down to get up there to fish those wires back through. If you see here, this is one of the panels right here. It's 1, 2, 3, it's 5 pieces, just about 5 full pieces of tongue and groove, and they're just nailed to a 2x4 cleat, 2 of them, and that's it. That's how I made the panels. Nothing fancy, nothing crazy, and that's how I'm going to make them for in here. And then these are the cleats that hold it in place, and these just go up afterwards, and they screw in with these trim screws. Now, 1 cleat in every square is nailed in. So the ones along this wall are permanently nailed in because you don't need to take all 4 out. You can take 3 out, rest it up there with your hand, and then pull it down and bring it down. So it's actually really easy to get to it. You can access all your pipes, wiring, anything you need to do in the future can be done. It just takes, you know what, to be honest with you, it doesn't take much more time than these stupid white cheap panels, because half the time you pull these out you end up busting them, and then you got to get new ones, and they don't want to fit back in. The only difficult part about this ceiling are the ones with the can lights. In order to drop that one, I need to disconnect the can light, so you have to take the wires out. But you know, you win some, you lose some. I'd rather take a can light out than deal with busting a bunch of those ceiling tiles, having it fall on your eyes, no matter if you have goggles on or not, because that stuff is just miserable. And I'd rather deal with this wooden ceiling than that. So, all right, let me get a little bit more done on this wall, and then I'll come back and show you what it looks like. I'm probably not going to do too much more tonight. It's almost 8 o'clock on Sunday. Got to go to work tomorrow. But I want to get a little bit of this done because my next goal is to get this wall, and that little return wall there, which is about 4 feet. I want to get all that with the tongue and groove pine and the ceiling grid made over here. Because what I'm trying to do now is my next section is going to be from this pole to this wall. So I want to get this section done right here, work my way down that hallway. There's a header right here in the hallway. It's like a bomb went off down here. But anyways, there's a header here in the hallway. I'm going to build this out so that it's flush with this wall so that I can continue it straight through. And then this is the actual one of the support beams that hold the house up. So then I can get this done. Then I can venture my way back to this hallway, rip out the ceiling, put in the wood ceiling. I have all the doors. They're in my van still. I got to get them out. They're these pine raised panel doors, these shaker style pine doors. I have one for that door, and then a regular one's going on there because that's access to the fish tank now, because we moved the fish tank into this wall. I built this 2x12 framing system and all the pumps and everything, and extra buckets for cleaning the fish tank and everything are just in this closet now. And then on the other side of this closet, that's the back of the fireplace that I put into the bar area. So pretty much not really much more going to go in here because I don't really want to put anything too close to that fireplace. Even though it's a zero clearance fireplace, I'm actually happy that the back is open. Gives it a little bit extra ventilation, and I don't really think it bleeds heat from the backside anyways, so I don't think it's really gonna disturb the fish tank that much. Plus it's not going to get used very much anyways. I mean, obviously if there's a bunch of people down here and the games are running, when all those games are running down here, it gets extremely hot down here. I mean, we're talking probably 80 degrees, 75, 80 degrees, but you have, you know, 70 some CRT monitors running. Okay, and then there's a window here, and there's a window on the other side. Now, I've never used them before because we just put fabric or black vinyl over them and just kind of covered them over. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the black vinyl off. I am going to order some brown vinyl. I'm going to put brown solid vinyl over the window itself, the glass part, and then the frame I'm going to paint brown so it kind of matches the stain color on the trim that I put up in here. So it's going to kind of match this right here. And by putting that brown vinyl on the glass is you can always take it off. So I didn't ruin the, I don't want to paint the glass because then you're sitting there trying to scrape it off the razor blade and then you're going to end up scraping the glass all up. So I want to just put the vinyl on it so that, like, for instance, when we're having our New Year's party and it starts getting really hot down here, we can open those windows up and it'll let some air in here, you know, or let some of the heat escape. And then I plan on putting some fans, wall mount fans like we have upstairs. I'm gonna put one here. I'm probably gonna put one in like 3 or 4 different places down here to get some air circulating. So between the air circulating of the fans and being able to open those 2 windows, I think that's dramatically gonna help, you know, cool it down in here when it gets really hot. You know, I don't know if a lot of you guys have a ton of games with CRT monitors. I probably close to 70 of them down here have CRTs. The rest of them are flat screens, like the golf games and stuff like that. The newer games are, you know, flat screen versus the old games. I always try to run these CRTs when possible because I just don't really like the way the flat screen looks. Some people like it. I just prefer not to use it. So, all right, I'll come back in a little bit and show you what's going on. Show you guys another little trick here. If you're using a laser and let's say you're on a job site or something like that and you can't turn the lights off, you know, because you're going to have 10 other contractors pissed off at you when you turn the lights off and nobody can work. So plus it's kind of hard to see in the dark. I'm laying out this bottom plate here and you can't see my laser because it's too light in here. Take something, anything. Take my tape measure, for instance. Let's take my tape measure and hold it right up against here. Now all of a sudden you can see, and you can see that that red line is right on the edge of that 2x3, right where it needs to be. So you can take anything, it doesn't matter what it is. I mean, that doesn't show as well, but it works, you know what I mean? Take a block of wood, anything you want, and then you'll be able to adjust this right onto that laser, you know, and get it right on that line. Okay, all the sill plates in, all the top plate is in, this side's in, this side's in over there. Now this side over here, I didn't go all the way into the corner. Reason why I did not go all the way into the corner, there's no reason to waste extra wood. These are not load bearing walls. That's all this is doing, is holding up the pine on the walls. So I brought it in 4 inches from here to here, so that when I build this wall here, and that first 2x4 is right there, or 2x3, I can nail my pine here, and then I can nail my pine there. If I took this all the way into the corner, I'd have to build it out with 2 more of them to have a nailer for the pine. So what I did was I just brought it out, I measured on the bottom where I wanted it, and then I just took my level and I just leveled it up and screwed it in at the top. So now this is ready for the rest of the studs to be put in, which I already have them marked. I'll probably do that. I don't know if I'll work down here tomorrow or not, maybe the day after. We'll get this wall studded up. Then we got to do that wall, stud around the window, over to that other wall, and then after that we can start making the grid for the ceiling, and then we'll be ready to start putting pine on these walls. So it's going pretty quick, actually, not too bad. If I had about a week consecutive, all day, every day for a week, 7 days straight, I'd probably be able to wrap up most of this basement. But unfortunately I have other things I have to do, so just kind of fit it in when I can. I'll get it done. If I can get this square done here and these hallways done by the end of November, no problem, because then I have all of December to do that and that other room over there. So there won't be a problem at all. I don't see it being a problem. I'm going to do the floor at the end, rip up these carpet tiles, and I'm putting down a glued down vinyl plank throughout the whole entire basement, all the same color. I'm just gluing it right to the concrete. I'm not going to screw around with any floating floors or anything like that because of the weight of all the games. I don't want the floor to buckle. So I'm just going to glue it right to the concrete, and if I ever want to get rid of it and or change it, I'll just go over top of it. It could just stay permanently stuck to the concrete, because once it sticks pretty good. So all right guys, well that's going to end this video. This is the update on what's going on down here. I got quite a bit done today. Pretty happy with where I'm at so far. Once I get done with this ceiling, this is the hard one because of these stupid ducts. Once this ceiling's done on this side, the other side's a breeze. So all right guys, I really appreciate you guys watching, liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, whatever you'd like, and I will see you guys later.